My name is Quill Taylor, and I have taken it upon myself to record my findings pertaining to the life of a young boy named Anthony Todd.
Tea?
Oh, yes, thank you. You said Abby might be a problem.
I have sent word to her. She's not due until later tonight. We have plenty of time to talk and for you to get home and have a good long rest. You're going to need it.
I imagine I will. So, once again, quickly for the record, your name is Calinox, your title is the host, and you're immortal?
Hardly. I am just very old.
6,000 rotations.
Give or take.
Okay, and when I asked about Liv, you said you'd tell me where she is.
Yes. I would show you, but I'm afraid she'll be very confused. Suffice to say, she is me.
You're Liv.
No, Quill, pay attention. The librarian is me, however, I am not her. She is her own person and her own mind, but she shares a being with myself and one other, the Protector.
The one in the archives that turned into you?
Precisely. He is also one of my creations, but he, like the librarian, is of his own mind. He merely shares my being.
So Liv is... She can't be here if you're here.
Unfortunately, no. Liv is not aware of my existence, nor is London.
That's the
Protector, yes. And while he dislikes being called a dog, I'm not surprised you drew this conclusion. He is very dog-like, however many pairs of eyes he may have.
I'm glad you agree?
I can tell you have a lot of questions and don't know where to start. I have answers, so let me begin. I'm going to talk, and you will not interrupt for any reason. I will tell you all that I know pertaining to the life of one Anthony Todd, and you will listen and learn. After I'm done, you may ask me what you will, and I will do my best to answer your questions. Understand?
I guess you could say I do.
Good. Then I'll start. I suppose you'll want to make it an entry.
Yes, actually.
All right, then. I am the host, giving entry number 13 directly to Quill Taylor regarding Moorgrove and what has and will happen here. Entry is being given on their 26th day in Moorgrove. Entry begins. When the town was founded, Thomas Moorgrove made a deal with a very powerful being. He would begin a regular settlement where the people received enough support to live freely and comfortably. Moorgrove became a small utopia for those fortunate enough to stumble upon it, and it just so happened to catch the eye of a wandering entity called the Unknown. The Unknown noticed something was off about this town immediately, and so it went to Thomas Moorgrove to confront him. Moorgrove was not as intimidated by the Unknown as it had thought he would be, since he had already experienced and accepted stranger aspects of the world. He explained to the Unknown, a being that called itself Alistair asked Thomas Moorgrove to build a town for him. Thomas Moorgrove had other plans, though. He told the Unknown that Alistair was planning something big, something that would change the course of civilization on this planet. He wasn't sure what. He trusted the Unknown to help him figure out this plan and stop it before it could come to fruition. Naturally, it agreed. The Unknown knew that it had to stay in town for a long period of time in order to do this. It had already created another being, a larger creature that mimicked a wolf and became somewhat of a legend among several groups of indigenous peoples. After creating this being, it was easy to then create a common woman to live in the town and collect information. The unknown waited quite a few years to do this and created its disguise when the process started, when the boy was born. The unknown became the host of 2 other beings, and thus my title was created. The librarian is not approached by a great number of people, and the nuances of this town, while dulled, still affect her. She is not aware of my existence, nor the existence of the Protector. This is for her safety. If Eris were to pay us a visit, she would be in no danger because while Eris knows me, he has no reason to know anything about the librarian. The Protector, while well known, is not associated with me in any way. He simply guards the archives where only I visit. I use the archives to reorganize the library every night, because it gives me something to do while I wait. And I've been waiting a long time. Alasdair re-emerged from a long span of silence after a little over 6 centuries and took the name Eris. I think he suspected what Thomas Moorgrove was trying to do and wanted to make sure Thomas was properly dead and buried before coming back to continue his plans. In the 1875th rotation, Eris turned the town into an enclosed area, sealing the residents in an invisible enclosure that consisted of some complicated time and memory tricks he had up his sleeve. Suffice it to say, everyone in town became somewhat mindless and fell into routines based on what they were doing the day Eris reclaimed this town. The last 2 people to come to Moorgrove before Eris returned were the nanny and the butler, or as you know them, Abby and Aziander. The nanny and the butler were assigned their roles and given their orders by Eris on the day that the boy was born, so they had very little time to question why they had been sent here. The nanny is entrusted with the responsibility of keeping Anthony safe, and to do that, she was given the order to make modern technology go strange. You will have noticed by now that her voice doesn't quite carry over the tapes, and there might even be static sound when she talks. Eris did not want Anthony to have easy access to the outside world, and technology is the easiest connection. I don't think he expected Anthony to have such an affinity for making devices like that tape recorder, and I'm not even sure if he's aware of this fact. Abby has not just been keeping things from you, but from him as well. The butler's purpose is the same as the nanny's, but his ability is much more conscious. Aziander is what keeps the town in its patterns, as Eris could not maintain such a concentrated amount of power for this long without it failing. However, though Aziander is good at his job, he's let you slip through the cracks. I'm still not sure why. Perhaps he likes you, which is a feat in itself. Perhaps Sasha convinced him, and yes, before you ask, it is Sasha today. I spoke to them earlier. At this point, my knowledge gets a bit fuzzy. I mentioned a lot of different time periods, and it might have been a bit confusing. That's because it is. I don't fully understand it, as I haven't left town since I arrived here. All I know is, quite a bit of time has passed, but I'm not sure how long. You might be wondering why Eris wanted Anthony's development to take more time than normal, and honestly, I can't tell you that either. What little idea I had is based solely on theories and observations, and nothing solid. I think he still had hope that in that century, maybe civilization might improve. Maybe they would become what he wanted them to be. Eris wants the beings of this planet to be like they used to be before proper colonization began. I'm not sure why, but he's adamant about it. He created Anthony to be a reset button, to force everyone to start over and do better. He seems to think it's the only way to regain what civilization has taken from him.
And what is that?
I'm not sure. but he's lost something important to him. That much I can tell. I'm surprised you were able to even ask that. I was worried I'd have overwhelmed you. It's a lot to process. If you'd like to head home and get rest, then come back with questions. I'm happy to answer them.
I might do that, yeah. Just, one more thing before I go.
Go ahead.
Why are you telling me all of this? Why didn't you let the Protector, London, right? Why didn't you let him kill me, as you and Abby had planned?
Let me ask you this. What good are you dead?
What?
As much as I hate to admit it, Sasha has a good point. They mentioned you might help their cause if you knew what was going on. I thought about it, and I agree with them. I think Abby has learned to distrust, and it's not helping her any.
I don't think I want to help an immortal being reset the world.
That's precisely what I thought you would say. I'll have to tell Abby the good news.
What?
Abby, Sasha, and I are working against Eris to save Anthony and the world. Abby, being herself, ended up caring about the boy too much. By fate alone, she caught me actively foiling one of Eris's smaller plans for the town and asked me for help. She and Sasha had been discussing this for a while, but they needed someone who knew Eris better than they did.
So Abby and Sasha are trying to save everyone?
In a roundabout way, yes. But it's difficult when Eris is breathing down their necks all the time.
Then why would they want me dead? I can help.
Sasha does not feel the same way Abby does, though they respect Abby's opinions far too much for their own good. Abby, on the other hand, believes you're a test.
What?
She thinks Eris sent you to test them and watch them closer than he can. I don't think that's the kind of thing he'd do at all. It's far too clever.
Ah. I guess you don't think too highly of him then?
He's a whiny old man with a god complex, so no, I don't.
Who gives people the ability to warp time and space?
Not space, just time.
Ah, right. My mistake.
I think you're getting to that point. Why don't you call it a night? Perhaps stop by that cafe and grab a nice pastry and another cup of tea? I do believe yours is cold by now.
Right. Sorry.
Not a problem. Anything else before you go?
Just one thing. You're very darkly colored. I mean, like, you look like space. Like you're staring into space, but with no stars, and your eyes, they're still there? How do you...
Shake my hand.
What?
We haven't properly introduced ourselves, and I feel that it's a little rude.
Okay.
I'm Calinox. It's a pleasure to properly meet you.
Quill, and are you?
See? Normal. I'm just a bit on the smaller side, and, as you said, dark.
Huh.
Do not judge those who are different just because they are different, Meet them instead. You might learn something.
Yeah. Thank you, Calinox, for telling me. I think I'll have a lot of questions, but I trust you.
While I tell you not to give your trust too easily, I'm glad you've given it to me. Get some rest. I'm here whenever you need.
Right. How do I,
Oh. Well, Abby and I have a code word, as do Sasha and I. It's quite subtle, but it's effective.
So should we make a code word?
Yes, I think that would be good.
Alright. Not sure what to use.
How about this? If you bring up Thomas Moorgrove around the librarian, I will take this as a cue. She has little to no interest in the town's history, much less its founder. I think that should be fine.
Okay. Thomas Moorgrove it is. I'll talk to you soon.
Goodbye, Quill. Good luck. And don't leave that here.
Oh, right. Forgot it was here, to be honest.
The Domestic Life of Anthony Todd is a podcast by J.R. Steele and is licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial Share-alike 4.0 international license. The writing, theme music, and sound editing were done by J.R. Steele, and the script was edited by River Toepler. Follow J.R. Steele on Twitter at pen_of_Steele, and find The Domestic Life on Instagram at Domestic Life Podcast. Visit the website penofsteel.wixsite.com/domesticlife or join our Discord using the link in the description. Thanks for joining me.